Lettuces, fennels, spinach, peas, radish, turnip, and alliums, onions, leeks up in here. And all of these will be just mainly harvested for seed. So we'll let the plant go to full fruition. This is kale. We're letting go to full seed. So we'll harvest that for seed as well.
Okay, let's keep walking, please.
So as we're coming up here, you see there's all along our zone 1 path, I've put in these guild systems. So sometimes it's all linear, sometimes there's little patches. So this is just a really lovely example of a guild. We've got all the layers in here. Things are blooming right now, but this will be fruiting throughout like multiple months throughout the year. So we've got grapes up in there, honeyberries, understory. These are some of the first fruits. They've already got fruits forming on there. If you're not familiar with honeyberries, they taste kind of like a little bit of a tart blueberry, but they're very delicious, very blueberry in texture, and they're the earliest berries you can get. And then comfrey, and then mint down there, and oregano, and yarrow.
Wow, the oregano's
And-
right there.
Yep. and
Oregano's
comfrey.
that herb that I had to smell before.
So, and the comfrey is worthy of a little bit additional note. It's called a permaculture all-star plant, and it has very, very deep tap roots. I've heard it can go down 20 feet, and it mines minerals, and it pulls those minerals up into its leaves. And those leaves, aside from being like a beautiful flower that attracts bees and other beneficial insects, the leaves are medicinal. It's known as bone knit. It's really good for sprains and bruises and contusions, or broken bones even. You make a poultice and put it on. But it's also a super beneficial fermented tea. It's not a compost tea, but it's a fermented tea, so it's a plant foliar food. So you ferment it down, it makes this super rich black liquid, and I feed it to my tomatoes. It's super rich in calcium, iron, manganese, zinc, and it makes this black liquid, and you dilute that down in a watering can like 10-to-1, and then water your plants with it. And if you're not doing that, you can just chop it down right where it is, becomes a mulch, and rots down on that surface layer where all these other plants that don't have as deep a taproot have access to those minerals. So it's just like a super beneficial. You'll see it throughout the entire farm. Yeah.
What's the yellow flowering tree shrub on the backside there?
That is Siberian pea shrub. Yeah, so Siberian pea shrub it's in the pea family. You'll see some more up along over there. It has a yellow flower right now, and it makes a little pea pod where you can actually eat the peas when they're green, or you can dry them, and they're, I know people that make tempeh out of them, or you can use them as a soup bean type of thing. They're pretty small, and it's a lot of work. So I consider them kind of, no, it's not even like, it's more like a BB size. So it's smaller. And they're a famine food, but it's a nitrogen fixer. And it fits that niche of a shrub, you know. It makes excellent animal fodder. It's super high protein animal fodder. So if you've got goats or sheep or something like that, it can be chopped back like almost 60, once it's established, like 60%, and it'll still like shoot up.
We tried to kill ours last year. We cut it flush with the ground.
And it's just like,
it is just falling out of the ground again.
Yep, exactly. So it's like the Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's like, so yeah, we look to all kinds of different plants like that we can stack in the system. Okay, we make biochar. So this is a charcoal kiln. I make occasionally biochar. This is a new pond. We had this pond here, but I redug it, so it's now 10 feet deep on the far side, and then tapering down, and So it's just recently graded out and we're getting grass growing on it. More annual beds. So we don't have our annual beds in one big plot. They're kind of spaced here and there with perennials around the edge. And that encourages that symbiotic relationship with all the life that lives in the perennial edge of a forest and the edge of a prairie or a grassland or annual land.